Good day, I'm Beverley Nielsen. This is the Boom Television Birmingham Made Me business programme, and today I'm delighted to be with Jerry Blackett, Chief Executive of the Greater Birmingham Chambers of Commerce Group.
Hello, Beverley.
Hello, Jerry. You're very welcome. Thank you very much for joining us today. It's a wonderful opportunity to talk to you because you've announced, very surprisingly, your impending retirement after 9 years with the Greater Birmingham Chambers of Commerce Group, and just wondered if you could perhaps tell us a little bit about the Chambers of Commerce movement and how it works and what it does for business.
Yes. I can't bring myself to use the R word. You've used it. I still don't think I'm retiring. I think I'm just going into another phase of something.
Yes.
But the Chambers of Commerce, what is their purpose? They're at their, when we're at our best, we connect up individuals and organisations to opportunities, whatever opportunities they are looking for. So we're doing really well. We will talk particularly to a business and say, what are you trying to achieve in business? In Birmingham? What's your business goal? What are your business objectives? And we listen really hard. And then if we think we can help, we would recommend they join the chamber. If we think they can't, then we should be strong enough to say, no, chamber's not for you. And where we can help is connecting them to other businesses, to people with suppliers that they might want, solutions. It all depends on what an individual business is seeking to achieve in Birmingham. But we play across a wide agenda. If you want to come and help shape Birmingham, a lot of the bigger businesses join because they want to be on Team Birmingham. They want to help Birmingham prosper. And we love those because then you've got a private sector voice who can go and work with, collaborate with other decision makers. Because if there's one thing I've learned, nobody can do it on their own. The public sector can't transform Birmingham, the private sector can't, the faith sector can't, the third sector can't, but together we can do amazing things. So I love the businesses who really want to get involved with the long-term future of Birmingham. They're the ones I really enjoy. The majority want to do more business. The majority say, I want more customers, please. Can you help me do that? And we will say, well, we can introduce you to potential buyers of your services. We can help you with marketing, how you get your message out. Our mission is to create a thriving business community. That's the overarching purpose. That's what gets us out of bed on a wet Monday morning. And the brand promise is we connect you to opportunity.
Right.
And then we take it from there.
And for businesses watching today, how do they get in touch with you? What is the
point
of
website
contact?
Is birmingham-chamber.com is the best place to go. And start. The website's got everything there, including how to join.
Oh, that's very helpful. Thank you for that. Now, how does the Chamber of Commerce movement here in Britain differ perhaps from Europe? Can you tell us a little bit about the chamber movement in general and sort of put it into context for us?
Yes, I mean the Chamber of Commerce brand is indeed a global currency. Go anywhere in the world and go to trade shows or any places where businesses cluster, and the chances are you'll see a Chamber of Commerce logo, brand. And it is the only business brand that works across international boundaries, I would argue, in the depth and breadth of its coverage. In some countries, Chambers of Commerce are, it's an illegal obligation that you have to join a Chamber of Commerce to be in business. So in Germany and in France, they're called public law chambers, and you can't be seriously in business without being a member of the chamber. In most countries, they are voluntary organisations that businesses pay a subscription. In Birmingham, you'll pay between probably £400 and £14,000 to be a member. So we've got a range of membership subscriptions.
So what are the origins of the chamber movement, given that it's an international movement and obviously that we have our own part of that in Britain? What are the origins?
Well, they came together. We're 201 years old, and the original founders of the movement, or whatever it was, came together really to make sure that industry prospered, and they wanted to ensure that in some cases they weren't terribly friendly places in terms of how they treated the employees of 200 years ago. The businesses were not always the most socially responsible type, but nonetheless 200 years ago they came together to trade with each other, shape their city, and around the world. I think that's the roots of all our chambers.
So it's sort of come out of the business community independently around the world, and then is it networked in an international federation?
Yes.
And within Britain, how
Yes.
does the federation work?
Yes. Well, there are 52 accredited chambers of commerce in the UK.
Right.
There are thousands of chambers of commerce, but only 52 have been independently inspected to pass certain quality thresholds.
Yes.
And we pay a subscription to run the London British Chambers of Commerce office. So we're all independent chambers, and it's a bit like herding cats. So if you're running London,
Yes.
you can't look at it as a branch network. You can't say, right, our policy on skills is this, and all 52 chambers, you have to say that, because that's not how it works. Each chamber decides its own position on things. Where we can, we try and agree on things, because it's stronger if you speak with a single voice. But we're not beholden to the centre. In fact, it's the other way around. The centre is there to do our bidding. So we can be a little sclerotic as a national network. Our real strength is being rooted locally, so that if decision makers, or when decision makers want to know what business thinks, I'd like to think they come to Birmingham Chamber first. They don't go to other membership bodies. And that's because we're all sectors, we're all sizes, we cover all geographies. Unlike most of the membership bodies have certain niche reasons to be together. They either represent big business, or they represent engineering, or they represent manufacturing, or they represent small businesses. We cover the lot, and that's what makes us particularly attractive to politicians.
Well, you mentioned in the beginning that sort of connecting business to opportunity was the key rationale.
Yeah.
You've just mentioned policy. Obviously that's a core part of what you do. Can you tell us how the policy bit works?
Yeah, well, we understand that great cities need to have the conditions for business to thrive. So we go out to our members regularly and we ask them, what are the barriers to you running a successful business? And they will tell us that it's things like not enough skills, and red tape, and transport, and infrastructure. So we get a fix on what's not fixed, and then we will go and work with whoever it takes to try and create the right outcome. So we'll work internationally on some things, we'll work nationally, and we'll work regionally and locally. But all the time, we're trying to make sure we've got a mandate from our members when we're saying this is what business thinks. It's not just what Jerry Blackett thinks, it's what our members think, and we're their voice. And it's incredibly valuable to particularly the public sector that they get an understanding of what to do to encourage business, how to get the tax levels about right, how to put in good regulation but not bad regulation, how to help the skills system deliver the employees of the future. So we've got a very crucial role, and I'm very proud of that role, where we are. It's a great responsibility, actually. You are speaking. In what you say will have an impact on what happens to Birmingham in 5, 10, 15 years' time. So it's a really crucial part of what we do.
Well, clearly one of the challenges that we in business have is having a very clear voice for business. And with all of the sister chambers within the Federation and the different voices coming, and then the different members of the different chambers, how do you feel that those in government can get the clarity of opinion out of that particular
we are a bit, sometimes we're a bit devious, really, because we talk about the business community as though it was this single thing, business. And you and I know, Beverley, that business is made up of a variety of constituent pieces, all with very different needs and wants. So we have to accept that trying to find a common agenda with such a disparate 4 million businesses in this country, all with slightly different, well, sometimes very different agendas, is a challenge. But if you allow that 4 million voice to just be completely all over the place, then we failed. So we do see the importance of agreeing on some big things, and they tend to be the bigger things, and then trying to make sure that there is no confusion in London and whoever's holding the checkbook, so that they're very clear that we are speaking with a single voice. So the Chamber tries to distill its agenda into something that resonates with any business, or broadly most businesses. And most businesses will say, yes, we want to work with our schools and our colleges and our universities to get great people. And most businesses will want better infrastructure, and most businesses will want better regulation. So we get all that worked up to a level of detail. And then ideally, you will go as wide as you need to, depending on your topic. Some things you can be quite small-minded about, because you only need to talk to, say, Solihull to solve something locally, or Sandwell. Where it gets more challenging is when your members are saying, we want much better infrastructure, motorways or railways, and you then have to join up with your partners, because if you go down to London and tell them, we want this piece of railway, and the day before another organisation's been in and said, no, we want this bit over here, we don't want that. London just says, well, until you can make your minds up, we're not going to do anything. So where we've had ups and downs over the years is we've been at our best when all the business bodies have had a shared view. And there was something that I started called One Voice.
I remember it.
10 years ago,
Yes,
probably, where
yes.
with CBI, the Institute of Directors, the Federation of Small Businesses, the Engineering Employers Federation, and the Chambers all came together for about 3 or 4 years, and we were joined at the hip on 5 priorities. And that made a big impact. We were at our best then. And I can still remember what they were. It was New Street Station had to be remodelled. We wanted the airport to be expanded. We wanted the motorway capacity to be increased. Now, all 3 of those have happened.
Yes.
And
so there's strength in numbers.
there is strength in numbers, and it's the other flip side of the localism. Government has now made the country much smaller, 39 local enterprise partnerships. And there is a great strength in that, because we have got more interest from local business in their local enterprise partnership than we were able to get at the regional development agency level, where sometimes that looked a bit remote. So that's the strength. But the weakness is 39 LEPs, 6 in the West Midlands,
Yes.
if you're not careful, can look a bit dysfunctional.
Yes.
And to begin with, they were. I think everyone would
and
admit
a fragmented
that.
picture again. And
But
so
it
forth.
has
Yes.
got a lot better in the last couple of years, and the LEP chairs now are very collaborative and are working much better at a pan-regional level than they were. And I can only see that being a good thing, really.
And so this strength in numbers bit, unity of voice and so forth is really a constant challenge. You've talked about what you did with One Voice, which was clearly a great initiative for the region. What do you think then about, if you've got, is it 3,000 members that you speak on behalf of in Birmingham, how can you do what Lord Heseltine talks about regularly, speaking for the greatest number of businesses? I mean, what are the options open to you in the Chamber? How do you see that one?
How could we?
Well, is it a free membership issue? That's one of the things that sometimes is spoken of. Or
yeah, this is the great conundrum, really. That when I went to see Lord Heseltine about 3 years ago, when he was creating his report called No Stone Unturned, and he sat me down there. The government's got a problem. We can't get to business. And I said, what do you mean? And he said, well, in Germany, when the German government wants to engage with industry, they work through the German Chambers of Commerce, because the German Chambers of Commerce are populated by all businesses, because they have to be in membership of the chambers. So there is a great route for government to talk to industry, and the other way up, for industry to talk to government. Heseltine said, in this country, we don't have that. And he said to me, I want Chambers of Commerce to be like German Chambers of Commerce, the route that government works with. And he said, would you work with me and trying to make that come true? And I did, and we struggled in this country to get all the other chambers willing to be seen as a creature. I think the worry is, do you sell your soul to the government? If you take the government shilling, can you then still be independent and still speak up and challenge the government? Now, I think you can. And if you're to grow membership, I also think the more relevant services you're seen to be delivering to businesses, the greater your membership will be. And we've seen that over the years when the chambers have delivered good services. If they happen to be from government, who cares?
Yes.
If they're good services, our membership's grown.
Well, can I just unpick that a bit? Because you said if you take the government's shilling, can you be seen to be independent? So was Heseltine proposing that actually everybody joined and that there was some kind of payment in recognition of that? So that there was is that what you're saying, Jerry? Sorry, I didn't quite understand.
Well, what Heseltine would have liked to have seen was the same as in Germany, where chambers of commerce, it was a legal obligation for you to join your chamber. Therefore, the chamber's revenues would grow exponentially because you would become, you'd have a lot more money coming in.
Oh, I see.
That's what he was.
Oh, I see.
What he would have liked to have seen.
Right.
But we couldn't get any agreement on that across the 52 chambers. A number of the chambers felt uncomfortable with becoming public law bodies. They wanted to be independent. They felt that that would prejudice their independence. I didn't feel that at all. I felt you could take, so in that example, you're not getting paid by government, you're getting paid by your members.
But they have to join.
But they have to join. So it's almost like, is it a tax?
Yes, like a BBC license almost.
Yes,
sort of
and
thing.
does that, do your members then resent you? Do they say, well, I've got to be in this
I
thing
don't get anything for it.
because the government tell me I've got to be in it?
Yes, yes.
Well, I felt that would have been a nice problem to have because we could have then demonstrated value. It would have been down to us to show that that was a good use of their money.
The flip side of the coin, that opening it up as a free membership, perhaps at one level, and then services might cost additional. Any thoughts on that?
People have tried it, Beverley, over the years, free membership. And I think I don't know about you, but if something's free, do you really value it?
Well, if it was free and you could say that you had, I don't know, 3 million businesses in membership, but they actually were in membership, and then you then provide the answer to Heseltine, perhaps I, as a small business, whether a consultant or a very small independent, let's say, print shop or something, that I can see that this body is on my side and the government has to take me seriously.
But it's how you get from here to there. So these businesses that, would they apply for free membership?
Yes, I don't know all the answers to that,
but
Jerry.
This is what we've had to work through.
Yes, exactly. Do they?
Do you just write to them and say, congratulations, you are now a member of the Chamber of Commerce and it's free?
Or is it assumed? So there's no paperwork?
But it still comes back to the relevance of that relationship.
Yes,
and if it's meaningless, and you said, what's the point? If it's only a paper exercise and there's no real engagement, it's just you're able to say we've got 3 million businesses in membership, but everybody knows. Most of them don't know what you're talking about, and they've never asked for it, and they probably don't want it. So we've always come back to trying to be relevant, and then people will want to be. People will come to you if you're relevant. But we've got 5% in membership. 95% of businesses are not in chamber membership.
No.
That's a fact we can't escape.
It's a big challenge one way or another, isn't it? And what about the final point on this particular aspect of the chambers? Lord Heseltine talks about lead trade associations. He talks about the huge plethora of trade associations, over 2,000 or something, if I remember correctly. And so what some way of having a way of presenting the business case to government that makes sense to government. I can sort of see why he would be trying to work his way through this issue. Any thoughts on that one?
About how we streamline the number of trade
or have
bodies?
a lead voice, streamline, but most of all a lead voice and making sure that we're really representing industry.
One idea that's kicked around Birmingham for a few years is the concept of a single subscription.
Right.
And the thinking there is that if the membership bodies and other bodies that serve businesses could come together and create a single offer with a single price that you would take to a business, and you would say, right, for this figure, you're getting the Chamber, the CBI, the IOD, Marketing Birmingham, whoever, and you only have to write one cheque, so you don't have to go, you don't get picked off. That could be quite an attractive offer. And we've had informal discussions, membership bodies, about, that could be attractive. But how do you get from where we are now to that sort of utopia?
Yeah.
And I won't bore you with all the reasons, but the barriers to doing it have stopped us doing it. So the best I think you can do is embrace the diversity of membership. Instead of wishing it weren't so, say that's a great sign of a vibrant city. There's so many businesses who've created bodies. Fantastic. You know, that must say something. And then get those bodies to work together on issues of common interest.
So is it time for one
Another
voice
one
again?
Well, that's where I keep ending up.
Yes,
I think you've just got to come back and have another go at that.
Together, exactly, and particularly with the devolution agenda. So if we move on to devolution, obviously this is something you, Jerry, have been tremendously engaged with, worked very closely with Lord Heseltine. Can you tell us what you think now at the moment? We've got combined authorities discussions. We've got obviously the LEPs, the 6 that you mentioned, local enterprise partnerships in the West Midlands. How do you see this panning out, and what would be good for business in amongst this?
Well, I think the penny is dropping that the successful bits of the country are the ones that have come together to do things they can't do on their own. It's about sucking powers down, not giving power up. And when I get frustrated, it's when I hear local authorities say, our sovereignty is non-negotiable, you know. Well, we're not after your sovereignty. You know, if you're running a particular local authority, you will continue to run it. But what are you seeking to achieve in your local authority that you can't do on your own? And the big things like skills and transport. Then when the penny drops, you say, well, I better go and work with my neighbour because obviously I can't do this on my own. So now work out who your most natural neighbours are. And there is some work going on amongst the metropolitan leaders at the moment, the 7 Mets, to do some more economic analysis to confirm who their natural neighbours are, with a view to agreeing these combined authority partnerships. And this will all now happen after the election. It's now too late. It's not worth bothering now because government's more or less shut down. But I'm confident. I am optimistic, and I would put a wager with you, Beverley.
Oh, really?
That
throwing down the gauntlet here, Jerry.
I just would say,
yes,
because I'll be gone by then, so you won't be able to find me to get your money. But I think Birmingham, Coventry, Solihull, and the Black Country will form a combined authority.
Well, I hope you're right. I think that people would be pleased to hear that by and large in business, because obviously they do worry about the enormous fragmentation and trying to find out who they've got to go to, whether it's a site or planning application for something or other. But so
particularly the bigger businesses,
exactly,
the larger businesses
who span 6 of the LEPs, let's say, and who do they talk to, and which local authority, and so forth. So for them, it is really inevitably a lot of extra work. But I suppose the thing that occurred to me today, I was at the I-54 plant in Wolverhampton, and it's incredible what Jaguar Land Rover have done up there, invested 500 million, created 1,400 jobs. I couldn't help thinking to myself, they've done this over the last 5 years or perhaps less. In that time, we've been talking about structures and governance in our LEPs and obviously more recently in combined authorities, but they've just got on and delivered. And I did wonder that if one talked to, say, leading OEMs in the Midlands, Jaguar Land Rover, Rolls-Royce, JCB, GKN, there's 40 billion of turnover in the Midlands in those 4 OEMs alone. Couldn't we actually focus our agenda more broadly on the business needs for those big businesses?
You might be pleased to know I sit on the board of something called Midlands Connect.
Yes.
East and West Midlands. And it's a project that is very rapidly sizing the untapped economic growth of the Midlands that could be released by better connectivity. And we had a meeting last week, and we have agreed we will do some, you and I talked about this, do some research, proper research, probably with those sorts of larger businesses, to understand the growth that we could be, the additional growth we could be achieving if the supply chains were better connected, if the road and rail networks were better connected. So I think you should take some heart from that. I'm taking a lot of heart from that.
I think so. The more that we don't get distracted by the public sector agenda, important as it is, and we look first to the business community and the business competitiveness
this is exactly what Midlands Connect is doing. We're actually not interested in the railway or road schemes.
Yes.
We're much more interested in mapping the economic potential of the region as
Yes.
seen through the eyes of industry.
I am pleased to hear that.
And it is the best project
Yes.
I've been involved in.
Oh, well, that's
in my
fantastic
10
to
years,
hear,
if you were to
because
say.
I do worry that as soon as you're looking in one LEP area, you're beginning to miss the bigger picture and the connectivity,
The
how
beauty
it
of
all
this is
fits up.
East and West. You know, Now
Exactly.
we're going to get a chance to have a look at that corridor of Derby,
Yeah,
Nottingham,
fantastic.
Leicester. You know,
Yes,
that Bombardier, Toyota.
Exactly, tremendous businesses.
All of that corridor,
Yes.
which, you know, it's going to be where East meets West.
And,
And we just haven't done that.
and a great metaphor for our region, really, isn't it?
We
It
haven't
is.
even thought about East and
No,
West
no,
because
we
it's all been
haven't.
so difficult to
Exactly.
connect. So
that is very
we're on the up.
encouraging. Exactly. Well, thank you for that, Jerry. But now we've got a few more minutes,
Yes.
Jerry, and I particularly wanted in these few minutes to ask you a little bit about your personal achievements in the 9 years as Chief Executive
okay.
of the Chamber in Birmingham here. So can you tell us, what do you think was the greatest moment in those 9 years?
Wouldn't you hate that question if it was directed to you?
Yes, I would, but
I'm hating it too, because I'm not being it's not false modesty, it's just not, it's too complicated a question, because some of the things that I'm most interested in are still unfinished.
Yes.
And
yes.
it is the bigger long-term
potential,
agenda,
perhaps,
the
for
skills agenda that
yes.
we if there was one bit of the region that could trip us up, it's the war for talent and the businesses that want to grow and are finding it harder and harder to get the people that they want. And that's been a passion since I've been here, and we haven't solved it yet. It's got better.
Yes.
It's got better, but it's not solved yet.
And do you think part of the solution is really, if I can use the word, plugging the businesses far more into the education supply chain?
It's the place.
Yes.
I was with some businesses at lunchtime today, and we asked how many of you are school governors, and there must have been 20 around the table, and like 3 hands went up. Wouldn't be the case in Germany.
No.
Wouldn't be the case in other parts of the
Yes.
economy that are booming.
Exactly.
And so this, I think businesses have to get involved much more closely with education. They are part of the answer. They can't fold their hands and say, the system's failing us.
Yes.
What are you? You're part of the system.
Yes.
So I'm afraid when I look back on 10 years, it's just gone like that.
Yes.
There's too much unfinished, really. and it is, I really can't pick anything that I'm proudest that the agenda is still, there's just too much still left to do. So
Yes.
I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to give you a very handsome answer to your
So
question.
it's not goodbye, perhaps, then, by the sound of it, Jerry. Is it just a sort of
Well, I'm going to take a break. Take a
Yes.
break and just get some perspective, because it's been a very full-on. I've loved it, but
Yes.
you've not had a moment to think, really. So I want to get away and have a think,
Yes.
and then see what I might do with the rest of my life. But,
When you've grown up.
when I've grown up, and find out what I really want to do. But I want to study. I want to
do you
write.
really?
I want to
Yes. I can see.
travel, exercise, and these things. I'll be 59 this year.
Yes.
Blink, I'll be 69,
Yeah.
and then I'll be 79.
Yes.
And at what point do you realise you've lost the opportunity to do other things?
Yes.
And whilst I've loved being part of Birmingham, there's a whole lot of things I haven't done. I never went to university. I'd
You
love
never went to
No,
university?
and I'd
I'm
love
really
to have a
surprised to
better
hear.
education, you know what I
Yes.
mean? And just
Yes.
be more aware of the world.
Yes.
I enjoy writing.
Yes.
So I'm looking for Act 3. My Act 1 was Bartley's Bank. Act 2 is the Chamber. Act 3, don't know, but I want it to be exciting and different again, really.
Well, there are many opportunities in Birmingham City University if you're looking for a place
Best
to
university
study.
in the world, Beverley. I shall look out for what I might learn.
Well, thank you very much, Jerry
Pleasure.
Blackett. It's been a great pleasure to talk with you today.
It's
Thank
been a
you for
pleasure to be on
sharing
the
your
Beverley
thoughts.
Nielsen Business Hour as well.
You're
I'm
very welcome.
privileged.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you, Beverley.
Thank you, Jerry.